Yes, I'm alive in terms of astrophotography. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Yeah, it's been a while. I've been busy, capturing some things here and there. In my opinion, it's been tough. So essentially, I do a lot of my astrophotography with all of it is with the Seestar S50, which is fantastic and the best single entry point probably to anybody for astrophotography. I have a full video on the actual object, and I have a small series that I've been doing. I said every Monday or as best I can. You haven't seen it in a while. I've captured some good star clusters and some decent nebula and galaxies, but sometimes it's just, I'm not happy with this. I'm going to want to do this another night. Then the moon's that direction. Maybe I don't work that night. Then I have to do it from my home, which is a little bit dicey. We live in an apartment building. It is a little bit tougher to do that. I'm also trying a new angle today, so sorry if this isn't the best, but hey, pop figures, fishing rods, Jordan Love jersey, Packers shirt, we got the whole 9 yards going on. Then last week I went after the Eastern Veil Nebula for the first time. It's one of my favorite photos that I've done in terms of astrophotography. Now it's also known as NGC 6992. There's different parts of the Veil Nebula. There's also the Western Veil. The Crescent Nebula is not too far from it, the North American Nebula. Essentially Cygnus, or the Swan constellation, has a ton of this. Specifically, the Eastern Veil has a really ghostly appearance to it, and I said, oh, that could be cool for like a Halloween time kind of thing. So, looks a little ghosty, Eastern Veil, kind of sounds odd. Now, this is the remnant of a very large supernova. It happened between 7 and 10,000 years ago, as far as they can guess, and it's approximately 1,400 to 1,500 light years away from Earth. As always, there's going to be some stacking involved, and then some of the ages, obviously, are a little bit second guess. We approximate the best we can. But in terms of this one, it gives off like purplish, pink, and blue vibes, and it's just gorgeous, and it's amazing. It is a little faint to begin with, let alone some of the colors are a little bit different. So this is my first time outside of, I would say, the Orion Nebula and the Horsehead Nebula that I went after like this coloration, and it turned out fantastic. So as always, I do try and talk about a little bit of what I used for the stacking system for this one. I used predominantly the the internal stacking on the S50 with the Orion Nebula, which was my main focus of winter last year. I used a couple different programs, which were Cirrus and Deep Sky Stacker. For this one, it didn't go as well in that system, and I just liked the internal stacking for this. So I took approximately, I would say, I think it was 600 to 700 photos. Some of them obviously were not accepted in the stacking programming and stuff like that. Essentially, if you take a bad photo or your camera takes a bad photo, it doesn't count towards the overall. So that's kind of like the the amount that I did. Performed all in one night, I believe it was. I had an early day, stuck it on top of my car, and I just let it rip the entirety of a shift. So it was wonderful. It turned out super amazing. Again, I think it was right around 500 or so at the very end of it. Of course, every time I do an intro, the missus calls. But yeah, so essentially today, that is what I'm going to show you that I photographed. I'm super excited. I did it from a couple different angles. One was pretty much dead on center and just rotated a little bit. And then the other one is more of a mosaic style, which encapsulates the entirety of it. So essentially, it curves, and it's a little bit of a thicker part at the bottom. So I went in it from a couple different perspectives. So if you're wondering why they're both just slightly different from each other, that is why. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Like I said, this is part of the Seestar S50 series. If you're interested in that project or anything else, I will have product links and everything, not just the reviews, but the products themselves and some other projects in the description below. The rest of the channel is birding and fishing, which takes up most of my time, but I try to wiggle this in as best I can. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, whole 9 yards. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Astrobin. I'll have all those things linked in the description below. And if you're looking to get started on astrophotography, the Seestar S30 and S50 are amazing starting points, but definitely make sure you decide if a smart telescope like these are for you. They're perfect for me. I want to build a dedicated rig, but if you're constantly busy and you want to learn the hobby in a non-frustrating way, this is a really great spot to do so. It's not perfect by any means, but no one project is. So now let's take a look at the Eastern Veil Nebula, guys.